What's up guys, Mr. Audio here, and welcome back to another video. If you haven't already, please make sure you're subscribed, and while you're down there, consider giving this video a like. It really helps out this channel, and also hit that notification bell so you never miss another one of these. Alright, so before I get into it, we got a Discord set up. Come, hang out, ask me a question, pick my brain, maybe get some feedback on your mixes from me, and also you could suggest content that I could cover here on YouTube. That being said, let's get right in this video. Alright, so this video is about how to create depth in your mixes. I call it 3D mixing. But to get there, your production has to be on point. And by that I mean your mix should have a rough balance at this point. And you should have a good idea on where you need the elements to sit on the frequency spectrum and in the stereo image. And how you achieve that depth I spoke of? Well, it's really with just some EQing and panning. You'd be amazed at what proper EQing and panning elements around the stereo image can do to the depth of your mix. See, we all know what low-end frequency masking sounds like. The term muddy comes to mind. You know, the low end doesn't sound quite clear enough. And there's plenty of tutorials here on YouTube that cover how to solve this problem. But I don't see a lot of videos speaking about high-end and mid-range frequency masking. The reason being is that it's probably very hard for people to hear what high-end frequency masking sounds like. Here, let me give you a few examples. Alright, so in example one, this will be a visual example. Alright, so imagine you have instrument, on top of instrument, on top of instrument, on top of instrument, on top of instrument, you know. And you know, some occupy different areas and different aspects of the frequency spectrum, but they're all pretty much right here. And the one that's most visible is the one on top, which is usually the loudest element in the mix. So in this case, we'll call it the vocal, because that's usually the element that's the loudest in the mix. Now, basically, what high frequency and mid frequency masking does to a mix is it makes it more narrow like this and stacks the sounds taller so that the loudest element will feel closer to the listener. It'll feel more intimate. So it's not always a bad thing. But if you take with some proper EQ, some panning, and now you've got yourself a much bigger and wider mix that is more pleasing to the ears, and things are spread out across the stereo image and frequency spectrum. Okay, let me show you some audio examples of high-end and mid-range frequency masking. It's not enough. I'm wasted. I hate this. I won't give up. See, it's a good production. It sounds great. You can hear almost all the elements, and the cohesion is very nice. But there's just some things and characteristics about it that is missing. Here's the track again, and I'm going to switch in the middle, back and forth, and you will hear when I switch to the one where I've fixed the high frequency and mid-range frequency masking issues of the mix, you will see like there's so much space in the mix. Like I could get up and walk around inside of it. So, and I recommend you listen on headphones so that you get the full binaural effect. Alright, so we're going to start out, like I said, with the good production, and then we're going to go to the fixed mix. Alright? And I will toggle back and forth. Just listen for the differences. You'll be able to hear it. It's very blatant. It's not enough. I'm wasted. I hate this. I won't give up. I taste it. Contagious. It's not enough. As you can see, it's a lot more full in the one where I've fixed the issues. And it feels like there's also more space, and it's wider. This is a game changer for mixing. all right? But your production, like I said, it has to be great. It has to sound good already, all right? Now I'm going to show you another track. And we're also going to dive in, and I'm going to show you how I got there too. All right, so first I'm going to play the production, and then I'm going to play the one where I fixed the mix. And I will toggle back and forth between it like I did the other one. As you can see, this example is much more drastic. Now let me open up the mix session and let me show you how I got there with just EQing. I'm going to basically just be talking about the guitars, the rhythm, the lead, and the vocals, and how they blend with each other, and how I separated them in the mix and gave them each their own space. Alright, so I'm sorry I didn't explain this a little bit ago, but if you're wondering why the studio looks different, it's because it does. I got a new PC to record my Mac. I know it sounds confusing and complicated, but it basically takes all the video strain off of my Mac so I can do more CPU intensive tutorials for you guys. Alright, anyway, let's get back to it. I'm going to show you how I make opposing EQ moves to have each element have its own place on the frequency spectrum and in the stereo image. In this example, I'm going to be using Neutron 3 because of how easy it is to show what I'm doing to multiple tracks at the same time while only editing from one track. It's kind of like that Melodyne video I did a while back. I'll link it up here. Alright, so as you can see, I've got an EQ here. Now, if I wanted to click this inverse link here, it shows the EQ of the masking I have it set to. So I feel the lead guitar and rhythm guitar are masking each other. So I want to make opposing EQ moves to make each of those shine. So let's solo them out and play it in the chorus where they both exist and see what we have without these two EQs. Alright. So now let's just see what it's like bypassed. Those guitars are swallowing each other whole. Alright, so let's unbypass this and let's turn this on. And I'm going to show you how inverse link works. So if I put an EQ point on the rhythm guitar with inverse link connected and the masking set to the lead, it's going to show up on the lead EQ. But it's going to do the exact opposite of what I do to the rhythm EQ. So for instance, take this EQ band. As you can see, as I add gain to this EQ band, it's cutting on the lead guitar. So, you can use this to make EQing extremely fast. Now I'm going to go delete that EQ point, because we don't need it. So I didn't really have a plan going into this. How I came to these conclusions and how I boosted the areas of the lead guitar is I found the best areas that sounded good while being boosted and adjusted the cue to fit that part. Now, usually where I'm boosting, it's on a fundamental. A fundamental is the note that's being played at the time. Now, along with those notes come harmonic series. If there's distortion, more harmonics come. So this is all harmonics. This is the fundamental right here. And I'm guessing there's a fundamental here because there's a resonant peak there as well too. And you should try boosting those areas first to see if it works. You're also going to want to cut some areas where you boost on the other track. So, once I did that, I realized that with these two being played with the vocals, we can just turn off the vocal unmasking here, and we'll play all three of these together now. See, the lead guitar cuts through the vocals now pretty good, but the rhythm guitar is swallowing the intelligibility of the vocals. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to use vocal unmasking. Now, I did a video a while back of how I unmasked vocals on a hip-hop track that I helped produce. I'll link it up here, but I'm sure I'll do a rock version where I unmask vocals from guitars, and it'll probably be this track because this is a great example of it. This is what it sounds like masked, and then I'm going to switch to the unmasked version in the middle so you can see the difference it makes. Now the intelligibility of the vocals comes back. Now I wasn't heavy-handed on it. I only did it about 77%, and I did it dynamically so that when the vocals aren't being played, that guitar tone is still there. Because remember, we did not like the guitar tone. We liked what we set up there with the relationship between the lead and the rhythm guitar. We just needed them to jive with the vocals better. So now, with all of that together, in the mix, sounds like this. And here's where it started. I'm going to show you the difference it makes. We'll start out right here, right before the chorus, and I'll start playing the old one. Another state, another town, I know it don't mean much. Drive 100 miles an hour, but it's not enough. We could stay a couple hours looking into each other's eyes. My head won't quit and my heart won't stop. I've been driving all night and I must have forgot that these words in my head, yeah, I say them a lot. As you can see, it makes a world of difference. Like, incredible difference. This is a game changer if you're trying to add depth to your mixes. I call this the 3D mix approach. Alright. And that's it for this video, guys. If you like this content, make sure you're subscribed. And if you stuck around to the end, I got a bunch of free stuff on my website. Links are in the description. There's also stuff you can purchase there, too. If you're an Ableton user, there's a lot of Ableton racks I got up there. A whole bunch of new stuff is coming soon. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Mr. Audio, out.